Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am so excited that you are here and watching my very first TBR video. So this is going to be my October 2015 TBR. And for those of you who might be new to BookTube and might not know what TBR stands for, it means to be read. So it's basically just a list of books that I want to read for the month of October, and I've chosen 10 books, which seems like kind of a lot, but there's a couple short ones in there, so I think I can do it. All right, let's get started. The first book that I'm going to be reading for the month of October is The Enchanted by Renee Denfeld, and this is a book about a prisoner who is on death row, and this prison that he's an inmate in is sort of like a castle type of dark feel. The story is basically about how he weaves these different stories in his imagination about the people that he comes in contact with in order to escape from the reality of his life in prison. And you would think that these stories would be like bright and hopeful, but really I guess that sometimes they become even more dark and dreary than his actual situation. I think he maybe dreams up some monsters and stuff. And anyways, there's a couple people from the outside that take a part in this story as well. There's a reporter who comes in and tries to save these inmates that are soon to be executed, and there's also a priest that comes in to give some spiritual support to the inmates and has some secrets of his own, I guess. So I think that this is going to be a book that really hits me hard and kind of stays with me and haunts me even after I've finished reading it. That's sort of what I've heard from other people who have read it. So I'm really excited to read this one. It's not very long, so I think it's going to be a pretty quick read for me. The second book on my list is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and this is a book that is super hyped up on BookTube. I've seen a ton of people reading it. It's Sarah J. Maas, everybody loves her, but I'm really excited to read this one. This is about a girl who is hunting in the woods one day and kills a wolf and is taken captive to a land ruled by fairies to pay for what she's done. So that's really all I know about this book and really all I want to know about this book, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But I'm really excited because I can say honestly I haven't read very many books that have like fairies as the main mythical creature in the story, so I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, so the third book that I'm going to read is actually going to be read on my Kindle. I'm the next person in line for the ebook from the library and just haven't gotten this one from the actual library. So it is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, and this is a story about a society where there are two different types of people. There's the Reds and the Silvers, and the Reds are basically commoners with no magical powers, and the Silvers are the elites that have these magical godlike powers. So the main character is a commoner. She's a Red, and she goes to work in the palace where the Silvers live and discovers that she has powers of her own. So you can kind of just imagine where the story goes, but I'm really excited about this one. Okay, book number 4 is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rosh, I think is how you say her name, and this is another really hyped up book on BookTube. I'm really excited to read this one. It's a story about a world where there are 4 kingdoms and they're the seasons, so there's spring, summer, fall, and winter kingdoms, and the main character is from the Winter Kingdom, which was conquered and overtaken 16 years before the story takes place, and the main character was one of the few survivors and lived as a refugee, and so I believe the story is just about her, like she's a female warrior character, which I really love, and so her going on adventures and trying to help Winter rise back up and take power again as a kingdom. So I'm really excited about this one too. Okay, so the next 2 books are actually these 2. It is The Dream Thieves and Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater, and these are the second and third books in the Raven Cycle series. I read the first book, The Raven Boys, in September, so look forward to hearing about that one in my September wrap-up video. But I'm not going to say very much about these. If you kind of want to know what the storyline is about, you can watch that video when it comes out, but I don't want to give anything away about the second and third books, so yes, very excited to read these. The 7th book that I'm going to be reading in the month of October is The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan, and this is part of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. I've already started it. I'm not very far yet, but I am really liking this series so far. This is my brother's favorite book series, and he convinced me to read it. I'm a little bit older, so I wasn't that age. I wasn't middle school age when this series came out, so I never read it. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I love the Greek mythology and just the gods and the different characters. But basically this is just a story about a young boy. He's 12 when the story starts, and just about his adventures. He's a half god, so he is the son of one of the gods and has immortal mother, and he has powers, and he goes out on all these adventures, and it's really pretty entertaining. I really like the writing style that Rick Riordan has too. It's really funny but also very action-packed. Okay, so book number 8 is Creepers by David Morrell, and this is a book that I picked up at the thrift store when I was there a couple weeks ago. It was in really nice condition, and it just looked sort of creepy and fun, so I read what the synopsis was on Goodreads, and it sounds sort of interesting, especially for the month of October when we're supposed to be reading creepy things. So Creepers is a slang term for like city archaeologists that go into these abandoned buildings illegally and try to like check them out and explore them and learn their secrets. And basically this story is about a group of creepers that are going into this abandoned building, I believe in New York City, and there's a reporter that wants to come along and do an article in the New York Times about this activity and about the creepers. And it sounds like it's gonna be a little bit Saw-esque, like the movies, and I'm a little bit worried about that, but I think basically what it's gonna be is that this reporter has a different agenda than actually just writing the story. I think he kind of traps him in the building, and I don't know what he does, but I think it sounds really creepy, and I'm really excited to read it. So book number 9 is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and this is a book that has gotten really good feedback on BookTube. It's an illustrated novel, and you can kind of see what the illustrations look like, but it's basically this story about a young boy whose mother is going through treatment for cancer, and he's got a lot of other stuff going on in his life, and he has these nightmares every night. And one night this monster shows up, and it's not the monster that he was expecting from his nightmares. It's a monster who wants something else from him, and that thing is the truth. And I've just heard really, really, really good things about this book. Everybody cries at the end. I know I will, and I just hear it's this really heart-wrenching story, and I'm very, very excited to read this one. Book number 10, the final book in my October TBR, is Hansel and Gretel by Neil Gaiman, and this is another illustrated novel, and you can see the illustrations are really dark, which I think is kind of cool, but it's basically just a retelling, a reimagining of the story of Hansel and Gretel, and it's really short, so this will be just a really nice quick one for me to read, but I got this one from the library and I'm really excited. So those are the 10 books that I'm going to be reading for the month of October. I would love to hear what you're reading this month as well, so please comment down below and let me know what books are on your TBR. I'm so excited for the month of October to start so I can get started on these books. I read 8 books in the month of September, so look forward to my September wrap-up video. I can't wait to tell you all about what I thought about the books that I read. I read some really, really good ones in the month of September, so please tune in for that. And please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, leave me some comments down below. I'm just getting started, so I could use all the encouragement possible. So I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.